it's, it's good morning or good evening, good pre-dawn, good midnight, good 3 a.m. I don't know, wherever you're looking at a YouTube screen, you're somewhere. Here I'm touching the bare earth with my bare feet. So this is little grandfather recording in a place Zebany, Z-E-E-B-A-N-Y, in Australia. And we're going to today be talking about seeding the next civilization. Little grandmother, she says, we are the people we've been waiting for, which is a Hopi Indian saying, we believe. So we are the next civilization. Some people talk about the crystals and all those other defining sort of labels, but we're here talking about how and where and when is now the next civilization is going to be seeded. So I presume you're rolling. Well, this is the main street of Zebany. It's very interesting because there's no traffic lights in this town and people have to self-organise themselves. They've just got roundabouts, so you don't have the robot lights controlling everybody like robots. Hello. So, little grandmother, hello. So, exactly what is this new civilization? The question plagues me. Okay, so look, I need to have some notes here because what we're doing is this is a really complex subject. So unless I've got a couple of notes, we're talking about how do we self-organise in this new civilization. Anyway, okay, we're talking about self-organising. We're talking about self-organising. So networks, flat, no leaders, meeting in coffee lounges, hotels, new age sort of shops, groups, whatever, and just well, tribal groups do that, don't they? But they sit in circles. They have recognised leaders. So there may be lots of the tribe of many colours have lots of groups. Now the secret police and all the spooks and all of those ones that are worried about the protesters and all this movement going on, they'll probably call it cells. They're paranoid because you've got the two paradigms, you've got the two power structures. One that's based upon control and the other one's not based upon control. And these are self-autonomous, self-organising groups of people in community, learning to barter, share skills, recognising what we're doing. It's just all based upon principles, consciousness, and people either understand it or not. You understand what it's about because if you're part of the paradigm, you're in it. If you're not, you're out of the loop. You actually wonder in the next civilization if we're going to be using things like this. Probably not. It's a museum piece, but I think we'll be using push bikes a lot more, and probably we'll have little flying anti-gravity devices moving around like gyrocopters. Little grandmother, you often talk about the pole shift in terms of 2012, and that's either a magnetic pole shift or as a result of a change because of Nibiru passing through the solar system. But have we thought that perhaps the real pole shift is internally inside of us? A lot of people are writing about end of the world and blah 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 blah. No, the pole shift may be an internal pole shift, and that means personal transformation. And each and every one of us has to undergo that personal change. We don't know what the other person's going to do. In your case, it's like coming clean about your personal history. In my case, my pole shift is having the courage to go in front of camera, to make a fool of myself, to talk to people around the world on YouTube. Ari, who's behind the camera, we're talking about maybe his pole shift is going on a completely raw food diet to make his pancreas. Simon, it's, well, you're either going to sort of do anything with your alcohol. I mean, each one of us individually, I think in the future, and I really don't mean to be sort of lecturing here, but we've got to look inward to find out what our own personal fundamental change is going to be to chart our way through into the future. And I really don't mean to be lecturing, but it's an interesting idea, the internal pole shift. So, I mean, you're watching it on YouTube. I mean, why believe me? To say, why believe anything we see on YouTube? Why believe anything on the internet? Isn't it all about discrimination and being able to empower ourselves to work out what's real, what's not, what's true, what's false? I mean, Alex Jones is now InfoWars. There's 130 million people around the planet that are listening to him. I mean, that's the biggest alternative media scene going. We've got to get out of the road, a car's coming in. So this is little grandfather still in Zabini, and we've been talking about the this new civilization which is coming. We're all part of the transition. We're in the old civilization, the current time of the transition to the new one. We don't know what the new one is. And little grandmother's been talking about the tribe of many colours. Fantastic name, isn't it? The tribe of many colours. So tribes are very sort of small groups of people, and people are meeting all around the world. We're using YouTube and Facebook and other social network sites. So we've got this strange reality where we're communicating with people digitally around the world with keyboards, and at the same time where we're living, we're finding other people that are on the same page or the same vibration. It's not always about the one person, the one talking to many in a stage and come along and pay me and listen, and it's how do we have lots of people talking and sharing, communicating with each other and sharing our knowledge. That's the whole idea of the flat information the flat information economy. So we'll cut for a moment. So, well, I've really run out of ad lib things to saying without working out a script or having a cue sheet email me. Well, let's get the things sort of going. littlegrandfather@gmail.com, and then we can start finding different networks and nodes of different people around the planet in the tribe of many colours. And that really means no age, no background, that's what it means, doesn't it? No longer identifying with a flag, and not going to war and waving a flag. Not identifying with branding, signs with football clubs and the badges and like branding, the Hitler, the sign, none of that sort of, the whole sort of rainbow, that sort of principle, because it's really people that are, and this is not arrogant, but it's very sort of subtle. How do we recognise we're actually on the same page of consciousness, to use a cliche? I mean, that sounds like a lot of bullshit, but mumbo jumbo new age sort of speak, which I suppose it is anyway. How do we recognise fellow souls that are really looking to be part of a world which is not full of insane technologies, power, money? I mean, we all know what's not working in the civilization. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out, what's not working. But how do we sort of meet and self-organise? That's all. So how do we meet and self-organise? So initially we do it by emails and actually meeting wherever we're meeting. That's it. Cut. Zip. These are the sorts of places the new civilization is going to be starting from, not New York City.